Hello friends, welcome to C# Intermediate to Advanced tutorial. Now you are watching part 5 of the sub-series C# Drawn Combo Box. In this video, we will see how to draw empty rectangle to fill color tiles. So that means here we are not going to fill the color tile, but we will draw empty square or rectangle. So this will be our initial draw on the drop down rect. These are all the decks from previous parts. First we learned about the basics of owner drawn control. Then we talked about the example. Then we learned about the draw mode property and how draw mode property enables owner drawing. Then we prepared our example with the initial warm-up code. So as already told, we have to implement the event handler for the event draw item. And we know when draw item will get called. As a quick recall, the draw item will get called whenever the combo box item needs a redraw. That means whenever you click the down arrow button, the draw item will get fired from the combo box control and will get handled by the form. Then whenever user changes the selection using the keyboard up or down arrow key or by moving the mouse cursor on the drop down list. So during that time, two items needs redraw. That means one item will get selected and one item will get deselected. Right. So here we are handling the draw item event handler, and as a first thing, this is the name we gave for our owner drawn control. So we access the control name, then items collection. Then here, if you see, we are getting index from DrawItemEventArgs. So we know that the DrawItem event will get fired by the combo box class itself, that will fire this DrawItem event, and when it is firing the event, it will pack all the required information in the DrawItemEventArgs. So here e.index will tell for which item the event was fired by the combo box control, and here it means you are handling the event for a specific item in the combo box drop down list. So that you are getting using the e.index. So e.index tells which item, for which item this draw item is fired, and in other words we can say for which item we are handling the draw item. So the index, from this index we retrieve the item, and that will tell us the string name, and we store that here as a string str color. Then in one of our previous video, we wrote a utility function getColor, which takes a string form of the color and returns color object. So this is GDI color, right? So we store that in the selected color. Then here selected color dot name, and we are storing that in the color name. So here you can even have a different name given for the color in the combo box item, and the color name may be different. That's why here we are making use of selected color dot name. All right. Once we have the color name, we go to Snippet 2 and we get graphics from this DrawItemEventArgs itself. So this is also an important step. Why? Because here we are handling the draw item on the form. So this event handler is in the form, right? So, or we can say it's the handler routine written on the owner. That's why we call it as a owner drawn. So e.graphics will give a graphics associated with the combo box. So we store that under grp. After that, we make a call to draw background. So this draw background will set the background color for our drop down list. So if you see, we are not making any drawing on this area, but in the drop down there will be a rectangle, right, once you click. So that's where, let's say if there are 3 items, the event will get fired for 3 times, and when event is fired for the very first item, the index will be 0. That's what you will get. When it is fired for the third item, index will be 0, 1, 2. Here you will get it 2. Right. So draw background means for each item we are drawing the background. So here we go with the default background drawing. So e.background, e means the from DrawItemEventArgs itself, we are asking to draw the background. That means whenever there is a selection, by default the combo box will indicate the currently selected item with a blue background. So that's what will get drawn here. And when the selection moves from selected to unselected, let's say there are 3 items, right? User is placing the mouse cursor here. They are coming out and entering directly to 3. That means item at location 0 will get unselected and item at this location will get selected. So both requires redraw. When you make a call to draw background, the blue rectangle will go away from here and a new blue rectangle comes here. So e.draw background. So after that, here from e itself, from DrawItemEventArgs, bounds.x plus 1. So bounds means here it represents a bounding rectangle for the currently for the current item, we can say, or for what item you are performing drawing. For that specific item, we are getting the bounds.x. So here we are plus 1 is just to have some gap. Similarly for y, we will be having some gap because we want to draw the tile like this, right? So once the drop down is pressed, you will see a rectangle and you will see items here, string item, and our goal is to draw the tile. So we need to have some bounds here. So for example, if it is fired for item index 0, then e.bounds will give this location from here .x plus 1, .y plus 1. So that means we want to add some margin here, a 1 pixel margin on these 2 locations. So, and even if it is fired for item index 2, bounds.x fixed, y will change. So if the item height is 12 plus 12, 24, 24, from here we will get 25 plus 1. So we always add a 1 pixel gap from top as well as left. Then we perform our drawing. Thereby we are locating this corner e.bounds x. So this is what here we are talking about. Whenever we want to draw, we need to put just change the ink color so that it will be visible. So here you are seeing some gap, right? So this is what here we are adding 1 pixel gap, so that here it is zoomed out. When the tiles are displayed in original display, you will see some decent gap between the tiles. They won't overlap with each other. Alright, here we decided rect left and rect top for the currently drawing tile or for the current combo box item. So we need to draw tile, right? So this tile e.bounds will give us x and y location, but here we are customizing it to have a top and left margin as shown here. So once we decide rect left and rect top, that means each time, so this is the combo box, left and top will change each time. This is the first time, top plus 1 margin, then this will be the top. When it is called for third item, the top will change. So rect left and rect top will locate this corner actually. Alright, next if you see here, we are creating a new rectangle, rect left, rect top, with we are hard coding it. That means this is 20 pixels. I mean width is this one. So here we are having a fixed width, right? 20 pixel. Height also we can hard code, but here we are making use of e.bounds.height. So if you ask for e.bounds.width, it will give you entire width. So if this is the rectangle displayed, we want to occupy only small portion. Why? Because we need to draw some string also representing the color. Here for example, if we fill this rectangle with red color, in the next coming videos we will do that. After some gap we will need to type the word red here. So we should not use e.bounds.width here because it will give entire width, but we can make use of height. Why? Because here this is the height, of course, with some pixel adjustment for the margin, right? And XY location for the rectangle, then width, then height. Height, if you see, we are reducing to pixel. Why? Because we are using that for the margin here. Alright, then this is just a GDA plus. In one of our previous video we covered GDA plus extensively. So here GRP is the graphics, and we are making use of the GDA plus function draw rectangle. For the draw rectangle we are passing the rect which we formed here on the fly, and pen we are using black. That's why the rectangles or tiles are appearing in a black color for now. Alright, once you draw, so here we populated some string items, right? There are 3 plus 3, 7 items we added. That's why here if you see, the draw item will get called for 7 times. Since the draw item is get called for 7 times, when user clicks at this location, it will be called for 7 times, and we will be drawing 7 rectangle based on whatever the event argument is giving us. When it is called for the first time, it will give a height, let's say A. Second time it will give the height in the sense the y location, I mean e.bounds.y. So that's how it will vary. And for each item, the draw item event will get fired, and you provide a handler here. So since the event is fired for 7 times, we will be handling it for 7 times, and in each time based on the different coordinate x and y, we will be drawing the tile. That's why you are seeing 7 tiles here in the left. Of course you will be seeing some left margin and some margin in between the rectangle tiles. So the tiles are ready in this video. In the next video, we will perform color filling on this tile. Alright, now we will go to the demo and complete this part. Okay, now we are inside the Visual Studio, and in the previous video we left at some of the initial code preparation. We populated the combo box with some fixed colors. There are 7 colors if you see. That means our combo box items contains 7 items. That's why in the PowerPoint slide you saw the draw item get called 7 times, and you will be seeing 7 rectangular tiles. So this is the utility function which we will use in the next video. Then in the selected index changed, we are just setting the foreground color for the multiline text box. So at this moment, since we don't provide handler for draw item, you will not be seeing anything even though we added some of the list box item. Why? Because here we stated that draw mode is owner draw fixed. That means owner is the form will do the drawing. That's what we told, and we doesn't do any drawing. That's why you are seeing an empty rectangle here in this area. Alright, now we will go ahead with the first step. Here I'm selecting the combo box, properties, events, and let me come back here to the property. See, the draw mode is owner draw fixed, right? That means here we are stating that the combo box will be drawn by the owner. Owner is the form. So here, if you see, the event is draw item. Draw item is fired by the combo box. Just like, say for example, here is the text box. Text changed. Text changed is fired by the text box. But when you provide handler, the fired event is handled by the form, right? So the same way here we are handling the draw item. Here you will not see measure item. Let me check once. Okay, measure item is there still, but it will be valid only for owner draw variable. Why? Because in measure item we will be having a different item height. Alright, now we will double click on this area to handle draw item event handler. Okay, now we will handle the draw item event. So the code was already explained in the PowerPoint slide. So draw item, DrawItemEventArgs. Here first we select the color from the item based on the selected index. Then we grab the graphics from the combo box. After that we perform our rectangle or drawing. So you can download the code from the video description. Now let's run this. So now when I click here, you will be seeing the 7 rectangle tiles, and at the same time you see the currently selected item. I mean the background also redrawn. So that's done by here. So here we are making use of the default background draw by making use of the DrawItemEventArgs, which is coming for this handler as a parameter. So on top of this, we will draw the bounding rectangle also. We will do that in the next coming video. We will just draw a red bounding rectangle on top of this blue background. Alright, so tile is ready. In the next video we will do the color filling as well as drawing the text item here. Both the operation we will do in the next video. Before that, let's put some diagnostic message using system.diag diagnostics. We will delete this later. Debug.writeLine. Draw item fired for so this will make you understand what is going on. Let me clear this output window, and if you see, once I click the drop down, you are seeing the diagnostic message is written to the console output window, and you are seeing indexes 0 to 6. That means the event got fired for 6 times. Now let me try to keep this in open state. Not possible. The moment I right click, that drop down will get collapsed. Okay, anyhow, I'll do clear all. Once again it will fire for 6 times. Now here I'm selecting the first item, and if you see, a new event got fired. And why? Because it needs to redraw the item at location 0. Now I'm going to hold or tab once the down arrow button. So 2 items required redraw: the item at location 0 and item at location 1. Item at location 0 requires redraw. Why? Because it needs to remove the blue background. Why? Because the particular item will no longer be the currently selected item. And the item at location 1 also requires a redraw. Why? Because we need to switch this blue rectangle to the second item. Now let me click the, let me type the down arrow once. And if you see 0, 1, that's what you are seeing in the output window. Now if I put down arrow once again, you will be seeing 1, 2. There are 2, 1. Why? Because the first one is part of the previous down arrow click. Now 1 and 2. Now if I click once again, you will see 2 and 3. Now I am going to press the up arrow, and you will see 3, 2. Now let me do. So here, if you see, the item 0 is in selected state. Now I am moving my mouse cursor out of the combo box and moving it to last but one item, and let me enter here. And if you see 0, 5. So this clearly shows you when the draw item will get fired. So it will get fired for all the item the very first moment you click the down arrow. Afterwards, whenever the specific item requires redraw, that time the event will get fired. But because in the next coming videos we need to draw red bounding rectangle, so that time this analysis will be useful. Alright, now let me close this and we will remove our diagnostic messages. Since you got a better understanding now, I'm removing this and it's no longer required, as this event will be called multiple times after the diagnosis or analysis. Those debug, print, costly operation is not required. All right. So just now you saw the demo. In this video, we actually drawn the empty rectangle tiles, which will be used as a placeholder to fill the tile colors. We will do that in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.